Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again, just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 233, Addiction, Culture, and Emotions. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm talking about a really interesting sort of trifecta of why we overdrink. So this is a really important episode. If you are brand new here to the podcast, Stop Over Drinking and Start Living, this would definitely be a really good podcast to start with. I'm Angela Mascenik. I'm the host. I have overcome my own addiction to alcohol. I'm now sober for 5 years, and I've helped hundreds, if not thousands, of women cut back on their own drinking by not saying that they have a problem, that there's something wrong with them, or that they're powerless over alcohol. So in this episode, I'm going to cover three things: addiction, our culture and programming, and our emotions. So the first part of this is how I'm looking at addiction. Okay, so the way I understand addiction and the work that I've done in helping hundreds of people, including my own self, and the research that I've done is understanding the human condition. Our human condition has a baseline of becoming addicted to things. Okay, we are literally programmed to become addicted to things so that we can form habits that we don't need to think a lot of thoughts or exude a lot of energy to do the normal sort of survival things that we do on a regular basis. Okay, so we have this thing called the motivational triad, where we're programmed to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and save energy. Okay, so that is just our initial human program by design. So for example, when you come home from work at the end of the day and you are feeling edgy or anxious or exhausted or overwhelmed, and you're like, ooh, I'll have a glass of wine to take the edge off. I just want to relax. That is your brain trying to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and save energy. Okay, so instead of like going and meditating for 20 minutes or going outside for a walk and like doing some breathing exercises, which takes a lot more time and effort than to just walking across the kitchen and pouring that glass of wine. Are you following me? So we are motivated to go get that glass of wine. We pour the glass of wine, we get that immediate relief, and we also get a dopamine release. So the dopamine is that chemical structure that your brain releases that feels good. Okay, it's a feel-good chemical. And the more we release the dopamine, the more the addiction occurs. So then our brain's like, oh, that was amazing. Not only did we numb ourselves a little bit from the overwhelm, we got a dopamine kick. It's like a double pleasure whammy. Okay, and your brain remembers that. It stores that information like a computer. So the next time you are in that same situation, maybe it's another Wednesday after work or whatever, and you're feeling that overwhelm, your brain's going to cue in, oh, compute, let's go get a glass of wine. That'll make you feel better. And then you do that on repeat. Okay, and then you might have a different feeling, and your brain remembers, oh, that helped in that other time. Bored, lonely, sad, excited, happy. Sure, let's have a drink, right? Dopamine kick. You get the effect of the alcohol, cue in the addiction. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with you if this is what's happening. We get addicted to so many things, right? People are addicted to gambling, food, sex, porn, shopping, right? The internet, all of these, overworking. There's also good addictions. Like I'm addicted to exercising, right? And I feel like that's a good thing. I'm addicted to taking care of myself. Like I drink water every day. Those are habits that I've formed, and now that if I don't do them, I don't feel good, right? So addiction is not a bad thing, and there's nothing wrong with you if you are addicted. Okay, and it's not a forever type situation that you always have to have for the rest of your life. I used to be addicted to alcohol for 20 plus years, and I'm not addicted to alcohol anymore. Okay, and that's exactly the process in which I take my clients through. So it's not a disease. There's not like a surgery or a pill that you can take. It's our human condition. in which you've introduced an addictive substance, and also to point out, you were not born this way. Now, we were born into a culture, which is the second part I've talked about. Sometimes we're born into toxic environments or cultures or family situations where we have trauma, and there's, people around us that are drinking. That all contributes to the addiction as well, because we aren't taught how to manage our feelings, which is the other part of this podcast. So when you are born into a family structure like that, where there is drinking, and you are being shown that we deal with life by drinking, right? Like, there's implicit and explicit ways that we are communicated to as a society, right? The implicit way is like, you see somebody drink wine because they've had a bad day. They're not coming home and saying, I'm drinking wine because I'm having a bad day, but they walk in the door and you can sense their stress or their feelings, right? And then you watch them go and make a cocktail or pour a glass of wine. And then they sit down and they relax or they get quiet, right? So that's like that implicit way of us seeing how people react to different things and what they do. And as children, that gets programmed into us as, oh, that's how I deal with difficult feelings. That's how I deal with a bad day, right? And then there's the explicit way that we are programmed, and that is, say, same family situation, and they're literally telling you, this, I deserve this. This is how I work really hard today. It was a bad day, and I'm going to have a drink. Okay, so we have the implicit and the explicit programming, and we see that as young children, and then we grow up with those beliefs that alcohol is a solution to things, to good times and to bad. Okay, we also we haven't been taught how to regulate our feelings, right? Because we've been shown through our society, through our family structures, that we need alcohol or anything to deal with our feelings, right? We're not taught about the human condition in school. We learn that humans have feelings, but we're not taught what to do with them. Okay? And so we become adults and we have these uncomfortable feelings, and we are shown through our programming and our society, implicitly and explicitly, how to manage. Moms get taught that we need wine. There's this mommy wine culture, that we need wine in our sippy cups when we go to the sports team practices or to play dates or to birthday parties, right? We deserve it. That is programming that we are receiving, and that programming overrides all of the sort of essentials of being a human and other things that we could do to deal with how we feel and deal with our lives. Okay? So I just want you to recognize that there's a lot going on here. There's the addiction. There's our societal programming that says you should be able to drink in good times and bad, and we're often brought up with that side of programming. So as we're adults, we've adapted this programming from our society and our family or religious structures. And then we don't know how to deal with our feelings, right? We don't know how to deal with our emotions at the end of a bad work day, or something bad happening to a family member or a loved one, or to ourselves, right? We're left with these feelings that we don't know how to manage. And so then we go seek for that solution to get us out of those feelings. And then we drink. Okay, the good news to all of this is that you can learn how to be with your feelings. You can learn other coping skills, just like you've learned how to drink. Right? That's a learned behavior. You were not born that way. You didn't need alcohol to function and deal with your emotions as a child or a baby. We've grown and reprogrammed our minds through our culture and using alcohol as a solution to how we feel. And the good news is that you can unlearn that. There are other coping skills that you can learn how to deal with these feelings and retrain your brain to get a better dopamine hit in a healthy way, doing other things that are actually good for you. And it's not a disease that you will carry around with for the rest of your life, I promise you. So I can help you do that. It's not going to happen in this one podcast episode, but that's exactly what we do in Alive AF, my monthly coaching membership, is I teach you how to feel your emotions. I teach you how to interrupt that automatic habit of reaching for a drink when you're feeling uncomfortable or you're wanting to amplify certain feelings. I teach you how to manage your mind so that you don't spin out in overwhelm and rumination and, overthinking things and stressing and worst case scenarioing about what might happen in some situation in the future. Okay? And I also teach you about the human brain so that you don't feel like there's something wrong with you. And when you work on those things, you can make pretty fast changes with your relationship with alcohol. So if you want to, right now, you can join my monthly coaching membership. It's called Alive AF. Just click through that link and you can join today and have immediate access to the course where I teach you these things at a deeper level and get access to me and my coaching and the support that's inside that coaching membership. And I would love to have you. All right, my friends, thanks for being here. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast by clicking the subscribe button, whether you're on iTunes or Spotify, so that you can have the episodes automatically downloaded to your device and you won't miss an episode no matter where you are. I appreciate you being here. Bye for now.